Hey, what's up, everyone? Picture this. It's a cold, dark night in 1950s Scotland, and while most of us would be huddled in our warm beds, one guy is out there thinking he's completely untouchable, so much so that he treats an alive someone like it's just another twisted hobby. Crazy, right? Today we're diving headfirst into the wild and wicked tale of Peter Manuel, better known as the Beast of Birkenshaw. Trust me, you're in for one hell of a ride. Now let me set the stage. Born in 1927, Peter Manuel didn't start out as a cold-blooded killer. Even as a kid, he was already causing trouble, stealing and breaking in, almost like he was practicing for a much darker future. But this wasn't your typical bad boy. Manuel had a warped sense of humor and a level of arrogance that made him believe he was invincible. Imagine someone so cocky they'd laugh in the face of danger, even as they committed unspeakable crimes. Manuel's transformation from a petty criminal to a notorious serial killer wasn't overnight. Over the course of a couple of years in the late 50s, he turned parts of Scotland into his personal playground of terror, and his methods absolutely bizarre. For instance, after brutally unaliving the Smart family, he actually stayed in their house for days, as if he'd just crashed a party. He ate their food, even fed their cat, and acted like nothing was wrong. I mean, who in their right mind does that? But it gets even crazier. Manuel wasn't content with just being a ruthless killer. He loved playing mind games with the police. Picture this. While authorities were desperately trying to piece together the clues, Manuel would casually pop up in the most unexpected ways. He'd even give a ride to an officer. Yes, you heard that right. While nonchalantly dropping hints about the stolen cash he'd been using to buy drinks at local pubs. It's like he was daring them to catch him, all the while laughing at their confused expressions. Now here's where his overconfidence finally came back to bite him. After one of his so-called getaway sprees, Manuel used one of those very stolen banknotes to pay for a drink. And guess what? The police traced that note straight back to him. In a moment that's as almost comical as it is tragic. His own swagger turned into his downfall. When the long arm of the law finally caught up with him, Manuel didn't even try to act cool or mysterious. Instead, he confessed, except this wasn't a confession born out of guilt. No, it was pure, twisted pride. He practically relished every detail of his gruesome exploits. By July 1958, the inevitable happened. Manuel was sentenced to death and hanged at Barlinnie prison. His execution not only ended his reign of terror, but also left a legacy that still gives chills to those who remember his crimes. Even today, people wonder what would have happened if his arrogance hadn't led to his capture. What if he had continued his twisted game indefinitely? So, while Peter Manuel's story is undeniably dark and disturbing, it's also a bizarre reminder of how unchecked ego can be a criminal's worst enemy. It's a true crime saga that's as wild as it is cautionary. A tale that makes you question just how far someone's hubris can go before it finally brings them down. If you thought this story was as insane as I did, smash that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment on which wild true crime story you want to hear next. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.